Okay, hello. Well, I really hope that you enjoy this video. I know I haven't really said anything yet, but if you knew what I went through to try to get a good camera positioning and angle to record this, then I feel like you would just really appreciate the effort. I will try and get a clip of the camera setup currently, but it's ridiculous. It's stacked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books on a windowsill. Anyways, no one asked, but that's the camera setup that took me 2.5 minutes to explain, which hopefully I will edit to less than 2.5 minutes because that was just not necessary. Since I made my initial video about going into eating disorder recovery, I said I was going to be a lot more open about it, and then I just kind of been making more videos about it. So I don't feel like I achieved that goal thus far. I do want to make content about eating disorder recovery, but I also just don't want that to ever be who I am or what people know about me. I posted this on my Instagram, but I never wanted an eating disorder to be part of my story, and I'm really glad that I can share that about myself and help other people, but I still really just wish that I never had to deal with this. And so talking about it is pretty hard for me. But this is actually a topic that I'm really interested in. Things that I did not expect when I went into recovery that I did experience. So I just want to talk about 5 of the things that I personally went through that I did not see coming. This might just be me being really stupid and should have seen all of these coming but didn't, but I'm gonna talk about them. And I hope that this is useful not only to people that are in recovery or thinking about going into recovery or already recovered and just want to share war stories, but also people that might know someone who's going through recovery or want to support a loved one, because understanding more about what recovery entails can be huge in helping people go through that and just kind of being able to empathize with them and give them the support that they need. So anyways, I'll get going now on what the actual topic is. The first thing that I want to say that I did not expect when I started recovery was that it probably will get worse before it gets better. And that's honestly just the depressing truth, that your eating disorder is probably a huge part of your life, where a lot of your time, energy, thoughts go. It's most likely a coping mechanism for one or many things, and taking away all of those behaviors that you've built up over time is not only super difficult and just a constant mental battle, but it also takes away that coping mechanism that you had. And that makes it just exponentially harder because you're doing something that's hard, and then you're not able to fall back on your major coping mechanism to help you get through that hard thing. So it's just it builds on itself, and that makes it really, really difficult. And I kind of thought once I go into recovery, everything will just get better. And I saw recovery as kind of this fix-all for any problems that I had in my life or that I had with my mental health, and I just thought that that would be the ticket. But the thing is that it's not a magic pill, obviously, because you have to do a bunch to get recovered and stuff, but also just in the way that recovering won't fix everything in your life. And I think it can make your life a ton better, but it's not going to be immediate. This isn't me trying to tell you not to recover. It's just me saying, expect things to get worse before they get better. The second thing that I want to talk about is that eating disorder recovery at the moment is super counterculture. And once you start realizing what your eating disorder behaviors, tendencies are, you start to realize that those behaviors are super glorified in society. Like fitness, wellness, health, diet, culture, all of it will probably directly tell you that you should participate in those behaviors and that you are good for doing so. And they will give you gold star after gold star after gold star for replacing your rice with cauliflower and parking further away from the grocery store and using sweet potatoes instead of toast and going to the gym even when you're tired and not taking days off and all of the above. Like, I could go on and on and on and on. And maybe those behaviors are really healthy for some people. But if you're in recovery from an eating disorder, those behaviors are not healthy at all. And in fact, they're bad. And they're only going to continue to reinforce those neurological pathways that are so destructive. And so if you're going to recover, you have to go counterculture, which is just it's hard because you're already going against what your thoughts are telling you to do. And then you also have to go against all of this messaging that's being pushed at you through social media and magazines and just regular everyday conversations and signs in the grocery store and all of this. And so it's just a double whammy. I didn't realize all the things that were reinforcing my behaviors until I started trying to call them out. And then I saw them all and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a
freaking army.
And now, number 3, for a little bit of comic relief, because I feel like a lot of this is pretty heavy, let's just say it straight up.
Constipation.
Yeah. Your body, when you're in an eating disorder, gets used to like not processing as much food, probably. So your entire digestive system kind of slows down. And then when you start giving it more food, your body is like, we don't know what to do with this. We're just gonna ignore it for a while. We're just gonna let it sit there and you can just deal with that. And it is
not pleasant
to deal with. It is not pleasant when you go days without a bowel movement. And I apologize if you just didn't want to hear about the shits that I was taking in recovery, but we're gonna have to talk about it right now because there was a time when it was just not good. And I don't know if you know what Miralax is, but that we called it fairy dust at the treatment center because you literally you had to sprinkle it on everything. I mean, not really. It's not like we were salting our food with Miralax, but like there was a period where I was taking it 3 times a day just to stay regular. And even that sometimes was not enough. So,
yeah.
Number 4, recovery takes a long time. Like, I think people see like going to treatment as recovery, whereas I now know that going to treatment is setting the groundwork and giving you the tools necessary to pursue recovery over a long period of time. It's basically like building the foundation of the house, and then you're set off and you have the construction plan, but you still have to build the rest of the house. And this is also hard for people on the outside to understand because sometimes like weight restoration will happen like relatively quickly and someone could look completely normal, maybe not look like they have an eating disorder, which by the way, I hate the stigma of because eating disorders just don't have a look, but I'm not going into that right now. But like that weight restoration will happen way before like any of the thoughts go away or all of the behaviors disappear, or before like food fixations or food cravings will go away. Like the physical damage to your body and the mental repercussions of that are like they're going to last for a while. And you have to consistently rewire your brain and get rid of all those fears and all those rules and just really like completely reset everything. And it takes
so long.
like years. And sometimes the initial stages of recovery, you know, like going to treatment are a couple months, but like that is literally just the beginning. and it's going to be so much longer than that. Which actually takes me to my last point number 5. Recovery takes a ton of trust, which for me is really difficult because I am not like a trusting person. I'm not a gambling person. I just want everything to be like sure. Everyone is so unique that you just have to trust that if you like follow these steps and like work really hard at getting through your own mental barriers and dig into the difficult stuff with your therapist, that eventually things will work out. But that's so much easier said than done because it does require such a high amount of trust. And like I said, that trust is only made more difficult because at first things will probably get worse. And you just have to trust that they won't be worse forever, and that kind of bad cloud will slowly fade away and make room for this like new, better life. And you just have to trust that freeing up space in your mind and getting rid of all these fixations on food and exercise and whatever else is you're fixating on will free up space for things that actually matter, like hobbies and relationships and family and making memories. And that's a lot to trust. And I guess I just didn't see trust as a major element of recovery. I kind of just saw it as like willpower and pushing through, but it's a lot more than that, at least in my experience. Anyways, that's my list for now. Like this video if it was helpful or you enjoyed it, and let me know what other topics you'd like me to make videos about, and they don't have to be recovery focused at all. Just let me know. Make a video about any topic. Foosball? Sure.
Sign me up.
But anyways, thank you for watching. That's all for now, folks.